Welcome, my friend, to this Kind Moves workout. Everything you're going to need for this session is in the description box below. This is a strength workout. We're going to be working our full body for this one, but we are going to spend a bit more time than usual at the very beginning. We're going to find our breath. We're going to drop in, get really present to our body, to the space we're in. We're going to work into a mobility flow, warm ourselves up to build that heat gradually. And then we'll come into the strength portion, and then we're going to find some of that mobility flow again. So it's a bit of a sandwiched workout, a little bit different to our usual workouts, but it's definitely something that I do from time to time. I quite enjoy moving in this way, and I just wanted to share it with you. So hopefully you enjoy it also. All right, enough yapping from me, more moving. I will see you on the mat. All right, if you'd like to join me on the floor, we're going to get started in supine. Make yourself as comfy as possible. Feel free to grab a cushion, whatever makes this position as comfy for you as possible. Planting feet into the floor and just taking a moment to land in this space. Feel free to close your eyes, drop your focus, and just sink into the floor, feeling supported by the earth beneath you. Just noticing the points of contact between you and the floor, where feels heavier, where feels lighter. Can you breathe into your feet, into your hips and your back, sinking deeper into the ground, knowing that the floor is there to support you. And then just floating hands to the rib cage. We're going to tune into our breath now. So we're going to inhale through the nose, exhale through pursed lips. Good. Inhale through the nose, expand the rib cage, exhale through pursed lips. Good. Inhale through the nose, expanding the rib cage, front, side, and back. Exhale through pursed lips. Good. One more intentional breath in through the nose. Exhale through pursed lips. Good. And then just returning to your normal rhythm of breath. I'm going to bring the hands down by our sides. You can keep your focus lowered, or you can open your eyes and just walking the feet as wide as your mat. I'm going to rock the knees in one direction, lifting up through center over to the other side. Just like windshield wipers, just gently rocking one side and then the other. You can let the hips slightly peel off of the floor so you've got that rocking motion of the hip forwards and back. Just waking up the hips. Good, and coming back into neutral, bring the feet into parallel in line with your hips and lying. From here, I'm going to float my right foot off of the floor. My hands are going to come behind the knee, extend my toes towards the ceiling, bend at the knee. And I'm not pulling with my hands, they're just there to offer some support as I extend and I bend. Good. And then just coming to about halfway. Good, and we're going to come into some circles at the ankle, just gentle circles, and the opposite direction, kind of like you're painting in the sky with your foot. Good, and pause there. I'm going to rest my hand on top of my knee and take my hip into a circle. So just waking up that ball and socket joint gently. And that circle doesn't need to be big. That journey doesn't need to be huge. It can be as small as you need it to be. It can be bigger as well. We want to try and keep the opposite side hip in contact with the mat. You don't want to lift it away to access more range of motion. You want to keep it down, and we'll change directions. And again, I'm not pulling with this hand. It's just there for gentle guidance. Good. And floating that foot back down to the floor And switching sides, extend that leg and bend. Just waking up the hamstrings. Extend and lower down. Noticing, is one side feeling easier than the other to lengthen, to bend? Just noticing what's going on for you today. Good, coming to about halfway, and we'll paint the sky with our foot again in that circle. Sending some love to our ankles and our feet. I feel like they get so overlooked in workouts. We'll go in the opposite direction, but it all starts at the foot and the ankle. Honestly, so important. Good. And we get to pause there, hand to the top of the knee. The other hand can just rest on the opposite side of the front of the pelvis as we just take that circle again. It doesn't matter if you lose contact with your knee, just let it glide. Everything in this warm-up is invitational. We'll go in the opposite direction. So just finding it, whatever feels good in your body this morning. I say this morning because it's this morning for me. It might be the evening for you. Good. Come back to a pause. Float that foot back down to the ground. Okay, we're going to get some core activation now. Hands down by your side. Float both feet up and legs in this 90-90, knees in line with the hips. You should already feel that core switching on. We're going to take that inhale again through the nose. Exhale through pursed lips. This helps us connect to our deep core. On that exhale, this next time, I want you to think of drawing your pelvic floor up. Belly button comes gently towards your spine. I don't want you to grip anything. I want you to think of just gently bringing belly button towards spine. About 30%, 30 out of 100%. And that drawing up of the pelvic floor is like a jellyfish coming to the surface of the water. Very gentle. And just taking a moment to land again. Feel nice and comfy in the floor, giving your weight into the ground. Inhale through the nose, expand the ribcage. Exhale, connecting to that core, deep core. And if you just tap your belly, it should feel a little bit tighter. Inhale, relax, release that pelvic floor, drop it back down. You don't ever want to hold it for forever, otherwise we get into that state of tonic hold. So we want to know that we can release and relax, but we can engage when we need to. Inhale, exhale. Good. Either stick with this or bring hands behind the head. We inhale again, we exhale, we curl up, gaze at the knees, and we lower back down on the inhale. Let's go together. 3, 2, 1, inhale. Exhale, curl it up. Lower, inhale down. Exhale, curl up. Inhale, lower down. Exhale, curl it up. Inhale, lower down. We've got 3 more. Exhale, up. Inhale, lower. 3 and 2. And last one. Lower down. Excellent job. Feet to the floor. Well done. We're going to gently bring ourselves up. No head rushes. Please flip ourselves into 4-point kneeling. Wrists underneath our shoulders. Knees underneath the hips. Feet along. If you're hypermobile like myself, make sure that we're not hyperextending at the elbows. From here, we come into a cat-cow. We're going to exhale, press the floor away, round through the back, gazing towards knees or navel. Inhale, bring chest down to the floor, expand through the chest, lift focus, dip down through center. Exhale, press floor away, round out through the spine. Inhale, chest down to the mat, drawing the shoulder blades away from the ears, creating lots of space in upper back and neck. Exhale, round through the spine. And from here, we come into a neutral spine, lengthen through from top to tail. Good. From here, we're going to tuck toes underneath. We're not going to move just yet. We're just going to sway or bring ourselves around in some circles, So little circles around the wrists, just pouring a little bit of controlled weight into the wrists, and we'll go in the opposite direction. We're going to spend some time in this position, pouring weight into the wrist. So we just want to get them ready for that and come back into neutral. Great. From here, we're going to press the floor away in just a moment, lift our knees off of the floor into a knee hover, send our hips up to the sky into a downward dog. So let's take a breath in. As we exhale, press, lift, knee hover, hips to sky. Keep a slight soft bend to the knees because we're not going to stay in this position for too long. We're going to come into a spinal wave. So you can take this in two positions. So you can stay in the floor and take it from a child's pose and into a modified plank, or we come from here, downward dog. We're going to lift from our hips. We're going to tuck our chin to chest as we start to round through the spine and shift our weight forwards, bringing chest through the hands, our shoulders past our wrists, we extend out. And when you can't go any further, we bend our knees, which brings our hips back and hips back up to the ceiling, keeping knees soft. Tuck the chin, round through the back, shift the weight forwards through the hands, shoulders past the wrist, bend the knees, come back. If we're taking it from child's pose, we're down. The toes can be released. We round through the spine, we come all the way. Shoulders past wrists, hips go back. Yeah, so taking it wherever feels right for you right now. We've got one more. And extend. And then we're just going to shift back into that knee hover position, navel towards spine, lower knees back down to the mat, uncurl the toes, walk hands back, and just roll the wrists. How did that feel for you? Don't worry if it wasn't connecting just now. It's something that you can practice and return to and find it in your own body, in your own way. I know that mine will look different to another person. So yeah, it's just about finding that movement for yourself in your body. All right, we're going to come into halfway kneeling. Feel free to grab a yoga block and put it to the side of the standing foot. From here, I'm going to circle my arm around, and then I'm just going to lift my foot and make contact with my toes, and then circle back around. Good, let's take that again. I'm going to shift my hips forward slightly to create a little bit more space, and then lift my foot, come back. Good. This time I'm going to spiral all the way down. Hand comes into my yoga block, tuck my toes underneath, lift my hips, round through my back, heavy head, creating lots of space here, and lower back down, untuck my toes, lift back up, and I repeat that sequence. Lift, keep that circle going, lift my toes. Follow that pathway back, hand into the floor or the yoga block, press hips, lift and lower. Uncurl the toes, lift it up, turn to the back. Finding that spiral through. One more, lift up, tuck toes, lift, lower back down, bring knees together, switching sides. So we find a little bit of flow with the movement. This time we'll come straight into that flow. So I can shift my hips forward slightly, feel a bit of a hip flexor stretch, circle that arm back, lift my toes, feeling that quad stretch, come back. Hand comes down to the floor or the yoga block, tuck toes under, lift the hips, heavy head around through the spine. We lower that knee back down, uncurl the toes, lift, circle that arm around, bringing that foot up. And circle back, hand into the floor or block, lift the hips, heavy head, belly button towards spine, knee comes back, uncurl the toes, lift it up. Circle, this is our final one. And lift. Good, uncurl the toes, lift it up. Good, bring that knee back down, uncurl the toes, and bring your body up. And we come into kneeling. Well done. All right, how are we feeling? Hopefully we've built a little bit of warmth in the body, a little bit more energy in the body, and we'll be ready for our first circuit. So our circuit kicks off with an upper body move. I'm going to grab my medium dumbbells and come into the floor. Dumbbell safety first. As always, we're going to bring them to the tops of my legs. In sitting, I'm going to lift tall through the crown of my head, roll myself down slowly into the floor. Sorry, just shuffling so that you'll still be able to see me. Feet come off of the floor and I come into the ground. All right, from this position, I'm going to bring my elbows about 45 degrees away from my body. In a moment, we're going to take a breath in. On the exhale, you're going to punch up straight up to the sky so that your wrists and your hands are in line with your shoulders. You come back down in that 45-degree angle. All right, we ready to go? In 3, in 2, in 1, inhale. Exhale, press. Inhale, lower. Exhale, press. Inhale, lower. Good. Punching straight up and lower under control, back down. Good. This is 5 and lower down. And we have 3. And just trying not to break at your wrist as well. So trying to keep a straight line from knuckle to wrist. And 1, lower all the way down. Well done. We can bring our dumbbells into parallel. Lift my feet up. I'm going to rock and roll up. And 2 sitting. Well done. If that doesn't feel good to rock and roll up, just gently pop the dumbbells down by your sides and then make your way up to sitting. I'm going to bring a cushion now onto my lap, and I'm working with a much heavier dumbbell, but work with whatever you've got available to you. And you can also take this one body weight. We're going into a glute bridge now. So feet are hip distance apart, toes pointing forwards. Before we go, I want you to think of tucking your tailbone under, so there's no dip in your back. Underneath. We're going to press the floor away through the whole of the foot. In 3, in 2, in 1, press it up. Lower down. As we hit the top of the plank position on that glute bridge, I want you to think of a connection between the bottom rib and top of the hip. Lower down. Good. We press the floor away. We lower back down under control. Press floor away. Lower back down under control. Good. We press and lower and press. Good. And lower. 2 more of these. We press and lower. Last lift off. Lower back down. Well done. Good job. And pop that dumbbell to the side. Make your way up. All right, for this next movement, I'm going to bring my yoga block in. You might want 1 or 2. I'm going to bring my knees to this onto the block. And then I'm going to bring my forearms into the floor. Arms like train tracks, so they're parallel. Fingertips wide into the floor. I'm shifting my weight. So if my weight is fully over my hips right now, I'm going to shift my chest forward slightly. From this position, I'm going to hold this position. I'm going to press my hands into the floor and I'm going to press to lift up. So I press to lift up and then I lower back down under control. We're targeting our triceps here. Okay, let's go for 8 in 3, in 2, in 1. Press the floor away. And lower back down under control. Good. Press floor away. Keeping tension through the triceps the whole journey. Again, if you're hypermobile like myself, make sure you're not hyperextending at the top of this movement. Keep a slight soft bend to the elbows. My arms are wobbling. It's a bit of a spicy one. We have 2 left. 2 and 1. And we're going to pause down at the bottom. Well done. Excellent job coming back into our lower body move. From here we extend. I'm extending my left toes away from my body and come into a leg lift. We just lift it up, lower back down. Just being mindful that we're not tilting the pelvis and coming into this arch. We don't need to go really high. That's not the aim of the game. The aim is to keep everything connected. So tailbone slightly tucked under, keeping a straight line from tail to toes. Okay, let's go. 8 on each side, and 3, in 2, in 1. We lift it up, lower down. You could always, if you've got them, add on some ankle weights here. But we've got this yoga block under the knee just to give us a little bit more wider range of motion. Got a little bit of a deficit there. Good. Lift and lower. Lift and down. Almost there. Last lift off. And bring that knee back underneath. Good. Send the hips back. We'll just come into a child's pose for a moment. You can bring the forehead to the mat. Just give yourself a moment because it's a lot of load through the arms here as well. So we want to take care of the whole system. All right, come back into that forearm position. Lift the hips up, belly button towards spine. Press the floor away. So staying really active through upper back, not letting chest sink. Extend that leg away. We come into leg lifts in 3, in 2, in 1. Now I encourage you with these leg lifts to kind of squeeze the glute first and then lift. Just explore how that feels. Does it change it for you? Can you connect to that glute? Sometimes it helps to have a little bit of tactile feedback, placing a hand there on the muscle that you want to work, the primary mover. Just explore how that feels in your body. Being mindful of the other hip not sinking into it. Keeping parallel to the floor. Almost there. Last lift up. And bring that knee back underneath. Well done. Walk yourself back up. Stack the head on top. Whew. Shake it out. We're going to come up into standing now for the last move of this circuit. I'm going to place my yoga block vertically. I'm going to take my medium dumbbell. I've got my wall for extra support. Feel free to grab onto a chair, anything to just give you a little bit more support. If you don't need any, that's absolutely fine as well. Yeah, I'll just show you what we're doing and then you can make your own mind up. All right, so for this one, I've got one foot on the yoga block. The leg that's closest to the wall is the one that's going to be moving. And then I'm holding my dumbbell in that same side. From here, I start with my feet in parallel, and then I take my back leg back, slight hinge to the hips, coming down and pressing forwards to stand back upright. And here I'm not putting my foot all the way flat down into the floor. It's kind of just chilling here. So deficit lunge, back and up. We've got 8. 8 is the magic number today. In 3, in 2, in 1. We hinge at the hips, send it back. Press forwards, good. And down, 4, 2, and up, good. So even though there's a slight hinge at the hips, still keeping chest nice and open. Inhale to stand. Exhale, lower. Inhale, stand. Good. And stand it back up. And up. Last one. And stand back up. Well done. Pause there. We get to flip over. So I'm going to bring my yoga block in front again. And of course, you don't have to use a yoga block. You can improvise with a book or whatever you need. All right, holding our dumbbell on that outside standing leg, sending our inside working leg back, hinging at the hips in 3, in 2, in 1. We come down. Exhale, press it up. Inhale, lower. Exhale, press it up. Good. Really root and anchor through that front foot. Feeling a stretch as we come down in this glute, this working side glute. And that contraction as we come back up into hip extension. So you get that nice stretch. And then that release, that contraction back up into extension. Good. Almost there. Last one. We lower. We stand back up. Well done. Excellent job. And that was our first circuit. How are you feeling? I feel like that went by kind of quickly. I don't know about you. All right, we're going to come back. So we've got a slight variation of the exercises, the second round. I say that our first exercise is going to be exactly the same, that floor press, but I'll talk you through as we go. So we bring our weights to the tops of our legs, we feel tall through the crown of the head, we lower ourselves gently to the ground and come up. I'm gonna really ungracefully wiggle myself forwards again so that you can see me better. All right, feet in standing, elbows at 45 degrees. We've got that connection between our knuckle and our wrist. We're gonna punch up to the ceiling in 3, in 2, in 1. Inhale, exhale, punch. Good. Come back down, 45 degrees. Exhale, punch. Wrists in line with shoulders. Lower back down. 2. Good. 3. Lower back down. 4. And this time we're just going to go for a partial. So we're going to hover above the floor. Keep a bit more tension through the arms, the chest. Good. We have 3 more. We've got 3. Good. Lower down. And 2. And down. Last one. Punch it up. Well done. Lower down. Either lower down the sides of the body or we rock and roll up. Well done. Excellent job. All right. From here, we're not coming into the glute bridge. We're going to come up and bring that block in again. Popping our knees onto the block and into forearms. We're coming into a donkey kick this time. Again, this is a great time to pop on some ankle weights if you want a little bit more bang for your buck. Otherwise, we're lifting our foot off of the floor. Keep the foot flexed. Lift the knee and extend in line with the body. Bring it back in. Good. We've got 8 again. This is 2. Extend. 3. So keeping that foot flexed, keeping tension through the posterior chain. And the supporting leg and the supporting hip, we're trying not to let it wiggle, staying in parallel throughout. Good. We're almost there. Core is engaged. Last one. Press back. Bring that knee under. Well done. Same thing. Other side in 3, 2, 1. Extend away. You could also use a long resistance band, wrapping this around the foot and holding in your hands as well for a little bit more resistance there. Good. Otherwise, we're really using our mind-muscle connection. Imagining you're pressing through sticky honey or you're pressing up against a weight. Use that mind-muscle connection. Tense through the leg, through the glutes. Last press. Bring it back in. Well done. Walk yourself back up. And we're going to come into our triceps again. So from here, we're coming into a sideline propped position. So my hips, knees, ankles are stacked. My elbow is underneath my shoulder. I'm lifting up through my side body. I'm going to lift, and I'm using a lower weight for this one. I'm using 2 kilograms for this one because my triceps, that's all I can do, not pressing a 4K here. All right, so from here, my elbow is pointing up to the ceiling at a diagonal line, and we're just hinging at the elbow. We come extend, and we lower down. It's a lot through that tricep. Are you ready? In 3, in 2, and 1. We extend and lower. Good. And extend and lower. If you try this out a few reps and you're like, actually, this is not for me, go back to that tricep press that we did in the first round from forearms. Absolutely switch out any exercises that don't feel right for you today. And that might change from day to day. Yeah, just one of those things. It's a working process. Almost there. Ooh, last one if you're with me. Ooh. And lower down. Holy moly, that was a lot. Good. We'll come back. Find that position straight in. Are we ready? In 3, in 2, in 1. And notice this fresh side. How is that feeling? I know for me, I'm like, yeah, this is great. This is easy. I could be here for so long. Until I get to like rep 4. And then I'm like, okay. Being mindful of this elbow, making sure it's not dipping down anywhere. We want to keep it hinged in position. Yeah, staying really true to that position the whole time. Exhale on exertion as you press and extend away. Good. We've got one more. Press and in. Well done. Bring that dumbbell down to the floor. We are coming up into standing for our last movement. We've got a sumo squat. I'm going to use my heavier dumbbell here. And I'm going to take it in between, holding it with both hands. I take my feet about shoulder width or just beyond shoulder width. My toes, if I'm looking down and imagining it's a clock face, are at 10 and 2 on the clock face. Okay, from here, I've already got a slight hinge from my hips, and I'm sending my hips back, and I'm bringing that dumbbell underneath my body because I want to bias my glutes, and then extend to stand. All right, we've got 10, in 3, in 2, in 1. We lower down. Exhale to stand. Good. Inhale, lower. Exhale to stand. And we're squeezing our armpits. Imagining you're holding a sheet of paper under your armpits. You don't want to let it go. You don't want it to blow off in the wind. Squeezing under your armpits, keeping chest nice and open, keeping the back engaged. Even though this is a lower body focused move, everything is connected. Well done, we're almost there. Press that floor away. Good. Last one. Exhale. Well done. And we lower our weight to the floor using that deadlift kind of squat position. Stand back up. Well done. How are you feeling? I'm going to move this weight to one side actually, because we're going to come back down into the floor. That was the end of the circuit. How are you feeling? We're going to come back down into 4-point kneeling now. I'm finding that cat-cow again. So we exhale, round through the spine, gazing towards navel and knees. Inhale, chest down towards the mat. Good, lifting your focus. Exhale. Inhale. Good. Exhale, finding a neutral spine. From here, I'm taking my left leg out to the side and I'm just going to rock my hips back and forwards. So you get to just slow everything down. Let everything integrate. Notice how you're feeling. Any change from the start of the session, bring that knee underneath. We walk ourselves back and come up into halfway kneeling. Send our hips forwards. Feel a stretch through the hip flexor. We find that circle, twist, lift. Good. And circle back around. Tuck toes underneath. Lift the hips. Heavy head. Lower knee back down. Finding that pattern of movement from earlier. Restack. Well done. I'm going to flip over. Sorry, don't run out of space. You don't have to. And come back into 4-point kneeling. Take the other leg out to the side and adductor rocks. And just notice how you're feeling, how you felt when you first arrived at your mat today. What's coming up for you now? Good. And bring that knee back underneath. Walking yourself back up. Lift. Halfway kneeling into that hip flexor stretch. Circle the arm. Lift. Have you found a bit more rhythm through these flows? Tuck toes under, lift the hips, heavy head. Lower that knee back down to the mat, uncurl the toes, and shift yourself back up. Restack. Finding your horizon line with your eyes, imagining you're looking out to where the sea meets the sky. Or just gather arms up overhead. Inhale. Exhale, release. Root through your fingertips. And we're going to pause there. Thank you so much for joining me today. And I will see you in the next one.